Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good evening. Welcome. We will get started soon.
Okay. Good
Thank
evening.
you for waiting.
Evening.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Brenda.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, it's our district leader.
How y'all doing?
Hi, female district leader Lanita Jones.
How you doing, Honorable Assemblywoman Chantel Jackson?
All is well. God is good. Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
Hi. Oh, that's Miss Kathy. Hey, Miss Kathy.
Hello. How's everybody?
Good, good. Hey, Fred.
Hi, Miss Brown. How you doing?
Detective Fred Washington.
Hey, how
Hi.
you doing?
Hi. Hi, Fred.
Hey,
Texas
how
over
you doing?
here.
Good.
Want to rest today?
My mama in here. Hi,
Not
Mom.
today, not today.
You looking good, Chantel.
Thank you. I said I'm not
Woman wearing on you, baby.
I'm not putting on makeup today. So thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I didn't feel like putting on no hair today.
I love when we have options. Hey, Gwen.
Hey, honey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So we're gonna get started in like 2 minutes. Thank you guys for being on time. We're gonna have a special guest coming to talk to us too. So that's nice. Somebody we kind of know, but still special to us. So we are also live streaming already to YouTube. My team is here. They're going to be monitoring the chat and helping me out, making me look good.
Oh boy.
Fred, what you oh boying?
No, I was trying to put on mute.
Yo, Wash, what up, Wash?
Sleep, what up, Sleep?
Yeah, kill it.
Sleep, what's going on, Sleep? How's everything?
Sorry, Wash. I love you, Wash. Let's do this, baby.
Hey, Mr. Sleep, how you doing?
Oh my God, my people's in the building. Yo, we lit. Yo, Chantel, you good. Like real good. Oh man, we out of here. Yo, how my goddaughter, I'm claiming it. I don't know what nobody's saying. How my goddaughter doing? Stop playing.
First of all, we don't know what we're having yet. So
Wait, you having a baby girl, I know.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we're gonna have a fundraiser on a different topic.
Okay.
You gotta put up $30 for a girl and $50 for a boy.
No. Girls are worth more.
Okay. $100 for a girl.
Yup. Yo, I want to.
All right.
I gotta
wait. Live stream is looking good right now, so
Okay,
we're pretty straight.
How you doing, George Lopez? I never met George Lopez.
I'm George.
The official George Lopez.
How you doing, George Lopez?
I don't know if Chantel remembers me, but I gave out some flyers regarding, you remember helping you out.
We met on 161, I think.
Yeah.
I got the picture. I was looking crazy.
No, you wasn't.
It was COVID, and I put on them COVID pounds early. I remember.
Oh, good.
Hey, George Lopez. Hi, everybody from Concourse Village. I see you, Mr. Boyd.
Hey, guys, some more tea. Sorry, y'all hearing all the business.
Hi, Chantel.
My mom has her hand raised. Hello, mother.
Hello.
Why you got your hand raised?
That's the rules in the Zoom when you want to say something.
Okay. All right. Well,
I think I'm the wrong person to get on that chat. I think I'm the right, but I'm the wrong person to get it. I'm hyped, so I don't know what's going on.
All right. So bring it on down 10 notches for us.
All right.
Chantel, can you confirm something with me before?
Can I say something?
I can't. I don't know who's saying what, but yes.
I wanted to congratulate Sleep. Congratulations, Sleep.
Everybody's
And to
invited to the wedding
Chantel.
party. Hey, babe, come say hello to the good people. Oh, okay. She not, you know, women, they gotta look right. So
Right, she put her eyelashes on yet. Like,
yeah.
No, hello.
Hi, Queen.
How are you guys? Hi, everyone.
So we're gonna get started really soon.
Hello, everybody. I'm not dressed for the occasion. I just saw this, so I said I gotta
That's
come
my
and
good old
support my
mentor.
Chantel.
That's my mentor right there. Hi, Miss Nikki.
Hi there. Sorry I didn't dress up for the occasion. You just caught me raw
That's
with my
all right.
ponytails.
We all a little raw right now. It's okay. All right. So let's see if my team. So for some reason, I still can't share my screen. So somebody needs to help me out with the slides. Hi, Farah. Thank you for being here. Hey, Cheney. Hi, Lisa Richardson. Hey, Chaz. Hi, Alan. Oh my God, Alan's here. Hi, Alan.
Wouldn't miss it for the world, Chantel.
I miss you.
I'm so very proud of you, Assemblywoman Chantel Jackson.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Remember that when I do something and you're not so proud of.
You're gonna still be true. You're gonna be true to who you are. You were raised right. I'm not even worried about that. You're not gonna stray.
Okay. I'm glad you know.
I know.
So Emmanuel, someone help me out. What's going on with the slides?
I just opened the option to be able to share the screen. Try again now.
All right.
And just for confirmation, live is pretty good right now, so we're good.
Okay, so don't say anything crazy, y'all, because we are live. Oh, that's a good picture.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful.
All right.
Thank you, Mom. Say
All right,
you,
thank
Mom.
you, Mother.
And
Hi,
Dad,
Lynn.
too.
And Father.
Hello. I'm still at work. I'm working.
Okay. I'm just gonna, let me in the room.
I like your Zoom because your words come up when individuals are talking. This is beautiful.
Okay. Did I do that right? Do you guys hear an echo?
No.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
No echoes.
Okay. Awesome. So what you guys are, first of all, thank you.
Yes, there's an echo. There's an echo.
Okay. Hold on. How about now?
Yeah.
That's a big echo.
So I left the meeting from my phone, so I'm just gonna have to work from my screen. So I can't see you all. But I know you're beautiful already. So thank you all for coming.
There's no echo.
Yeah, because I logged out of my phone. So I'm only working from my computer screen. But so thank you all for being here with us tonight for our community conversation. This is the first of many conversations we're going to have. I am your Assemblywoman Chantel Jackson. And what you're seeing right now on your screen is our contact information. So if you have any general questions or concerns, or you just want to give me my props, which I'll take, feel free to use the help79 districtbx@gmail.com email. It's the best way to get in contact with myself and the team because we are still remote at this moment and our office is closed. So that's the fastest way to get us. You can reach us by phone and leave a voicemail and the team will get back to you. If you want to schedule a meeting with me, then you can use the scheduling bx79@gmail.com email. Okay. So, and this is my Albany information. I am in room 643 in the Legislative Office Building, 9 to 5. So right now, everything is still remote. There are days where I do go to Albany, but not often. So the best way is to reach us is to use the Help 79 or the scheduling. But if it's something in particular about legislation or budget, feel free to use this email as well. Okay. So just some housekeeping rules. We're going to use the raise hand function for questions and comments. My team is monitoring the chat, so feel free to use that as well, and they'll be bouncing things to me if I don't catch it in the chat. We are also live streaming to YouTube, so this is now being recorded and live streamed. When you speak and when it's your turn to speak, you'll have 2 to 3 minutes to do so. We have a timer that is there, so it will nicely let you know when your 3 minutes is up, because we have a number of people who have a few things that they want to say. And so we want to make sure we get to everyone. So that's why we're capping it at 3 minutes. Okay, so yes, so it's being recorded. You have 2 to 3 minutes, and please use the raise hand and the chat function for questions and comments. So this is our agenda. Of course, we're a little bit behind. You get your opening remarks from me, then you will have remarks from our former Assemblyman Michael Blake. Then we'll have our community leaders come in with their statements. We're going to open up for Q&A, and then we're going to allow some last minute remarks from our community leaders, and then last remarks will come from me. So that's pretty much our agenda for today. And so we'll start. And I think the first thing I always love to do is to tell people what it is that I'm responsible for doing, right? Like, so you guys have elected me, I'm in office, what do I do? So my main job is to my main job is to balance the budget with my colleagues and to pass legislation that works for the state of New York, right? So those are the two things that I must do, right? What I actually end up doing as well is going over budget requests that come from different communities and organizations. I can co-sponsor legislation, which means that someone else, one of my colleagues in the assembly, has introduced a bill, and then they're looking for other people to buy in. So that would be me co-sponsoring. And so that's pretty much what I do. And then the actual session, so we do legislation and budgeting from January to June. The first thing we do is the budget, and the second thing we do is more of the legislation. Legislation can happen at any time, but that's usually how it works, right? Budgeting first, legislation second, and then we go on break from June to December, and we come back again in January. With COVID, things looked a little different last year, and very much different this year, where we are not required to be in Albany. But what I've realized is that it's hard to get things done without being on the ground. So I do sometimes take the train to Albany so that I can be there to get more things done easily. So the other thing I do is meet with nonprofit organizations, community groups, and advocacy groups. And that's like how I spend the most of my day if I'm not in session or in conference. So I'm meeting with people, listening to the concerns, and seeing what I can do to be of assistance. So also what I'm also responsible of doing is being a part of a committee. And these are the committees that I'm on. I ask to be on all of these committees. I asked to be on a few more than these, but these are the ones that I received, and I'm really excited about the impact I can make in these different areas. As most of you know, I'm a licensed social worker, so mental health and education were at the forefront of like what I did on a day-to-day. But of course, small business and alcohol and drug use in our community is something that's extremely important, as well as cities. And cities just means that legislation that happens, we pass for the state of New York, but there may be specific things that need to happen in the cities. And so I sit on that committee, and we also pass legislation that would affect the city in particular. Okay, so what you're looking at now, and these slides will be available to anyone who's interested in seeing them. These are the major legislation that was passed recently and that I was able to co-sponsor and be a part of. And these are things that I'm extremely proud of. These are not the only pieces of legislation, but those are the main ones that I just wanted to point out for you all. And so what we did do is make sure that we passed the Walking While Trans, that we passed the COVID-19 protection for small businesses, and also people who are interested in being vaccinated have at least some time off from work where they didn't have to take their previous sick leave to go and get their vaccination. Because I don't know if you guys know, but some people were having a hard time getting an appointment, or the appointment was so far from where they actually lived or worked that they had to commute to those places. So that's why it's really important to have this legislation. So this is also things that I've co-sponsored. I've co-sponsored over 60 bills so far. And just so you know, I became your assembly person January 1. And so this is some of the stuff that we've accomplished so far. So we've co-sponsored over 60 bills. I've signed on a number of budget letter requests. And these are the ones that I think directly affect our district, the mobilization for justice, because they help us with housing and criminal justice needs and things like that. The Botanical Garden, if you have not been able to visit, please go and visit. You would absolutely love it. It's beautiful there. You have the HOPE program, WEDCO, and ASTA services. And this is legislation that I'm looking to introduce. I think most of you are aware by now, but if not, I am grateful to be having a baby due in July. So maternal health, even though it was extremely important to me before, now is like an absolute priority to me. So, and I know that some of you are aware of the statistics that show that mothers of color are dying at higher rates than their white counterparts. And so this is a bill that is extremely important to me, information that we absolutely need to have. And so that's why I will be introducing that. So the legislation on correctional facility staff using racist and degrading terms is important as well, because we have maybe family members and friends who are incarcerated, and it's already bad that they're in this situation. No one there has the right on their job hour to be talking to someone in a way that's degrading. And we're going to be also addressing terminology that we use when we're talking about people who are incarcerated. So you hear how I said, I didn't say inmate, or I didn't say, I'm using terms that we want our legislation and our staff to be used to use when we're referring to people who are incarcerated. And so I talk about high rates of asthma. And so this piece of legislation is important, that we require the buses and vehicles owned and leased by the school districts to no longer run on fossil fuels and to use alternative fuels with zero emissions, along with reporting data to keep accurate information. So this will help with our environment and our asthma rates here in the Bronx, well, all across the state, but definitely here in the Bronx. And then I worked in a school for at least 10 years or so, well, almost 14 years. And this is extremely important, where I took for granted the fact that I work in a New York City public school, and we've had this in place already, but realizing that my school is not like every other school. And so we're introducing legislation that would make sure that there is policies and procedures in place when responding to a student that has mental health crises. And unfortunately, I've had to deal with these things a number of times. And so de-escalation is extremely important. And this is something that we need to be able to utilize before we're calling police. I know if you guys are paying attention to the news, you saw that a young girl, 9 years old, was pepper sprayed while she was in the back of a police car already handcuffed. And so, even though it didn't happen in the school, we want to make sure that situations like this do not happen. There's another piece of legislation that you guys will see soon that has been, that's going to be introduced by our Assemblyman Demond Meeks. He lives in Rochester, and he proposed a bill that would say you cannot use these types of, you can't use like, I'm losing my train of thought, sorry, pepper spray and things of that nature on children. We shouldn't have to make legislation like this, but clearly we do, right? And these are just, so if you're in the picture, hey, oh, I see Miss Brenda over there. So these are some of the community organizations and advocacy groups and stakeholders that I've met with. Trust me, I've met with a whole lot more than this, but these are some of the ones I wanted to highlight for you all. Okay. And so these are our COVID rates by zip code. As you can see, the numbers are very high, highest in Hunts Point, Charlotte Gardens. And so, you know, we've been actively giving out PPE, making people aware of the vaccine sites that we have available, which I'll show you guys now. Here are some of the vaccine sites. If you are not aware, on Friday, which is tomorrow, Yankee Stadium is going to open to all Bronx residents. All you have to do is be a Bronx resident, make an appointment, and you can go to Yankee Stadium to receive your vaccination. And when I say all Bronx residents who fit the I believe the already requirements to be vaccinated. If I'm wrong, please someone correct me on that, but that was my understanding. All right, so those are there's our vaccination sites. So wait, can I go back? Okay, so yeah, these are vaccination sites. If anyone needs the slides, we will definitely give it to you afterwards. And these are the questions we're going to be working off of. So when you're responding, when you have any questions or comments, this is what I want to know. What's working in the district? What isn't working in the district? How can we be helpful to resolve the problem? And what will be the itemized cost to fix the problem, if any? Like if you know that this is a cost related thing, let us know. We will be taking down notes so that we can respond to everyone. And now we have our special guest. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. If you can hear all the cars in the background, welcome to the Bronx. So it says I'm stopped sharing my screen, but I can't see everybody. Can we unmute our special guest? So we have our former Assemblyman, Michael Blake, our vice chair of the DNC, here with us, and he's going to share what he's been working on and what's coming up. So Michael Blake, where are you? Did they unmute you, my friend?
I'm enjoying listening. Hi, everybody.
There's my constituent, guys.
Exactly. It's nice being a constituent and just listen right now. Good to see all the faces, all the smiles here, everybody. Isn't Chantel doing an excellent job? It just makes you feel good. Just like right out the gate, you know.
You trained me well, my friend.
Oh, shucks. Thanks, boo. You know, she's been here a month and 4 days and is already laying things out. So we should all feel good. This is what a real transition looks like, unlike what's going on in DC right now. Nonetheless, good to see everyone. Look, real quick. I'm grateful for everybody. I'm proud of everyone. There is so much happening. You know, I know we are all exhausted still being in homes and houses in this manner. But we got to do this for a while, y'all. Right? We got to think long game. And if that means you got to get creative. If you're like me, you get creative. You know, once a day you go and take a walk, just to get outside the house. just to see what's going on. To me, it really doesn't matter how cold it is outside. I'd rather be alive and be cold. So, enjoy that moment, enjoy that space. Let's be gracious in our support of Chantel, being a new assemblywoman who is expecting, she has a lot to juggle, and we have to have her back on that journey. Specifically, I think she wanted me to talk through what we're doing at Monroe right now. So some of you might have seen that one thing we have been working on is Monroe College. Exactly, we're all on Team Chantel, and thank you. Appreciate that, Chaz. Monroe College asked me to be their founding visiting inaugural fellow as we've launched an institute on civic engagement, justice, and social justice, which has been fantastic. We've had about 140 students join us from Bronx high schools the last today and previous Tuesday. These are high schools, juniors and seniors who are going to get high school and college credit for participating. Even if they don't go to Monroe, they can translate it anywhere. It's a poli-sci credit they can use everywhere. And it's another reminder that we have brilliant young people. We're engaging them in real time on everything about Marjorie Green, which I have up on the screen, to what's going on in the state side, what's going on in the city side, accordingly. And at the end of the day, they will leave better prepared to understand civics and make things happen. There we go, Sleep. Sleep always got that energy. I like that turn up. Between him and Sunshine, I already know things are always going to be live, right? The course itself, we can't add more students because it's a lot to be teaching 140, 150 students, which Mark, Jerome, and I are doing together. Just know that we have I think we have 29 schools represented. So it's pretty phenomenal to see that kind of energy. Be on the lookout for another announcement that will be happening between myself and Monroe College very soon. And be on the lookout for about another pretty significant thing that's going to be happening here in the Bronx as well that we'll be involved in accordingly. So we can make that happen. We'll be expanding to elementary schools. I think, oh man, we right out the gate. I think that let me figure out how to say this. There's conversations happening that if this goes well, there could be an expansion beyond Monroe to other entities. But just give us some time on that is the shortest answer there. But it is clear that there's a lot of interest and excitement about what's happening. So we'll work that through. Lastly, and then I'm going to shut up and I'm going to go because I've said often that everyone needs to get into the rhythm of following Chantel's lead because she is our assemblywoman. Okay, ranked choice voting. I can't overstate the urgency of us needing to educate people around this, right? And if you did not see the special election that happened in Queens this week, it is a reminder, regardless of who you support, that if not enough people are aware, there wasn't a second vote. That thing was done immediately on the first round, right? For anyone that still is looking for information, there are several ranked choice voting sessions that are happening, that are coming up. And for people like our soon-to-be councilwoman, I see on the line, Althea Stevens, for all of our leaders that we're preparing for June, it's important that we all are making people aware. Very simply, you don't rank every single candidate that's running. You only rank your top 5. It's important that we're very clear to people about that. And this is not like other elections. You're not going to show back up in 2 or 3 weeks for a runoff. Who you vote for and who you rank, and then it's done, right? And so the dynamic of that, be prepared, and we will be teaching the students about that as well. But I would hope that our assemblywoman will have many ranked choice voting sessions.
Oh, we're on it.
Given the magnitude of it, I cannot convey. We have 3 citywide. Please. So yeah, very simply, the June primary and I know Assemblywoman Jackson will explain this more, but the June primary, unlike what we've done before when you voted for mayor and comptroller and city council, and if someone doesn't get that first level, 40% rather, you would come back in 2 to 3 weeks. That's not going to happen. You're going to vote one day. You're choosing your top 5. It is important to be aware of who your people are. And quite frankly, you should be thinking about who your second and third choices are. You need to think about that now because your first choice may not win. And to be prepared for that. We have 4 out of 5 borough president seats, 35 council seats, and 3 citywides. It's pretty massive what's coming. So if you wish to engage, I mean, I think everybody has my information by now. Hopefully you do after 6 years. I would hope so by now. But the Monroe College, be on the lookout for that. The information is public about the Institute for Civic Engagement, Government, and Social Justice. And again, I am so proud of Chantel, and let us follow her lead over these coming days and weeks. And good to see all of your beautiful faces.
Thank you, Michael Blake. We appreciate you. You laid the ground and you put us in position to do this work behind you. So hopefully we can continue what you've been doing and is take it to a new level. As Mike mentioned, right, we talked about ranked choice voting. Be aware that like in the next few weeks, we're going to have a few conversations about ranked choice voting. I'm going to allow our community leader, Althea Stevens, to lead us through that when we get to that space and place. And I forgot to mention these things, what to expect. I'm going to have an event on February 12th. I know Valentine's Day is February 14th, but February 12th is the Friday. We're going to have an event called Affection Before Protection, which means we will be giving out PPE and some prophylactics so that you are safe before you start giving some affection to other people. Amen. Amen. So that's going to be February 12th. We're going to have our ranked choice voting training. We're going to have a food giveaway with Miss Linda Kemp. Hey, Linda. And we're going to continue to educate our district on the RBCs. By now, you guys have heard me say the RBCs a few times. RBCs are real estate, business, credit, and stock. So we're going to continue to have those conversations. Expect a mailer from me soon. So you'll get to a mailer where if you're not allowed to talk tonight or don't feel like talking tonight, there's going to be a mailer that will come to your home. You can fill it out and send it back to us on things that you want to improve in the district. So expect that. Oh, I know a lot of you may have taken, have gone to the Black, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, and Asian caucus weekends before. This year, it is going to be from February 25th to the 27th, and it's going to be virtual. I am taking part in that. I'll be part of the leadership conversation and the CUNY conversations. So shout out to all our CUNY grads on here, because I know there's a lot of us. And then the leaderships of tomorrow, I'll be on that panel as well. And I'm also going, I hope to be a part of the Puerto Rican Hispanic Task Force as well, just so you guys are aware. And I think that is it for my announcements. So I'm going to step back and lift up the voice of our Deputy Superintendent. Make sure I got that right. Rafael Alvarez. If I did not, please let me know. So can we unmute it?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm here. It's the superintendent. My deputy's on vacation this week. That's okay.
There we go.
How's everyone doing? All right. So there's a few things that we're kind of doing across the district, and we kind of want you to be aware of what's going on. And some new thing that had me thinking, Assembly Member Jackson, last time, in that how do I, as a superintendent, inform the electeds within my district of what's happening? And it can be very difficult to have to try to communicate with the electeds when they're all in a lot of different places. So just so that you know, and this can be shared publicly on your website as time goes by, on a monthly basis, my district is creating a newsletter, so to speak, for the elected officials to be able to let the community outside of the actual District 7, but within the larger community, understand what's going on in our district, any events that are going on, any of the SLT meetings that may be happening, any things that have already happened that are exciting that we want to share across the district, and any other information that may be pertinent to the electeds to be aware of. So that's coming soon. I think by the end of next week, the first edition will be coming out, and that will go to all the electeds who can share that publicly, and it'll also be on our district website. And I'm going to post into the chat room the actual district website. We encourage everyone just to take a look at it. Always give us feedback. We're always willing to take feedback. We have podcasts on there, parents creating podcasts, and students who are in podcasts, activities in multiple languages. Our website can be translated in 180 languages. So whatever language you speak, you click on that button on the top and it will translate to whatever language you speak. It'll show about district events. I want to thank former Assembly Member Michael Blake, who actually spoke on behalf of the Boys to Men Kickoff. For those of you who don't know, the state provides funding for My Brother's Keeper, which is our president's former initiative for young men of color to support them in excelling in school. And so we have My Sister's Keeper, which is for our young Black and brown girls that we started, that's called GEMS. And they do tons of events. On Monday, I don't know if you all know, Goldie Muhammad is doing some workshops. She's the guru around equity and access when it comes to supporting students of color and rethinking how do we create lesson plans that engage cultural responsive and sustaining education, where we're really thinking about, for example, let's say we're teaching about mathematics. Instead of just teaching distance, how can we teach the plight of African Americans during the 1960s where they traveled distances using the Green Book? And so it's all about including the skill, the skill, which is that math concept, right? The intellectualism, where students are learning about somebody new, the criticality, where students are criticizing what may have occurred during that time period and thinking about how do they use that in today's society, what the things that they face to move forward. So we're starting that work with the kids. They're working on prolific writing. So they're teaching the young women how to write. And our Boys to Men recently kicked off on January 22nd. For anybody who missed it, it's on YouTube and it's also on our district website. Feel free to take a look at it. Borough President spoke, Michael Blake spoke, Eyewitness News reporter spoke for us. So we're really pushing our boys and getting the same level of commitment for our young men. And just to add to that, how we're doing that, we're using organizations like Read Alliance, who are actually hiring high school students in District 7 to tutor elementary school students in District 7. And they actually get paid to do that by using a research-based practice approach to teaching them and tutoring them in reading. We currently have 70 students for this semester that started on Monday, and they will be paid, I think, up to 9 hours a week because of laws that protect against how much students can make while supporting our kids in our community. We also have the Urban Debate League, where a lot of students are actually doing debates against each other. We had our first round. Our second round is in the next couple of weeks. Round 2 includes high school students who are mentoring elementary school students who are in the debate, debating each other, and rank through that. I think Assemblymember Jackson had asked, what were the concerns or the things that we need support as a district right now that we're having difficulty with? And I think that's everything has to do with funding, right? We all know that there are concerns as it relates to funding in schools as we're waiting for the federal government to do its job. Hopefully all that starts to get passed in the next couple of weeks, as I'm seeing. But reality is we have our parent empowerment meeting, and I'll send that. It's also on the website. You can register. Any parent in District 7 is welcome to register to that. It's on Monday from 3 to 5. We have Dr. Alfonso Wyatt, who's going to be speaking as the keynote speaker. And then there's usually activities that go along with that. For me, we're just now moving back to our district office on Monday because we were displaced because they were repairing some floors. I was about to fall into the basement if I stepped anywhere any soon because of termite issues, but that's been fixed. And then the last thing I really wanted to talk to you about was a merger that's going to happen across our district. And just for you, Assemblymember Jackson, in case someone reaches out to your office, and I'm sure several of your members have been on the CEC and everything else, we're looking to merge the middle school 151 school community in the Concourse Village section of the South Bronx into PSMS 31, which is a K-8 school. The idea is to expand the K-8 program into a school that is already thriving, where in the middle school, the numbers were dwindling. we want to revamp and rethink what's happening there. And so I'm creating a STEAM program where we're going to be able to put more funding and think about the community-based organization that's going to be able to supplement that work after school for our young scholars. While also doing that, we're going to be able to provide more District 75 seats in District 7 so that the children in our community don't actually have to commute an hour or 2 hours outside of our school community to have to go to school on a bus, sitting in traffic on the FDR or wherever it may be to go. And so I'm doing that to be able to expand the opportunities for the students in our community. And I'm going to welcome and challenge anybody who'd like to be a part of the My Brother's Keeper for our young men and the My Sister's Keeper for our young women who want to participate in some way, shape, or form. I'm sure that we can get the community involved in doing that. The last thing I want to say, Assemblymember Jackson, I know you said 3 to 5 minutes. That's why I'm speaking so quickly. The last thing I want to say about that is we're committed to working currently now with Queens College, and we're about to think about the partnership between Queens College, Lehman College, and Hunter College. What we're trying to do is get our young Black and Brown students who are interested in education to wanting to come into our communities to serve as educators in our community. And so I've been committed to finding ways to hire them now as either paraprofessionals so that they can learn from the experience, or as school aides so that they can learn from the experience in our district as they develop their skills to be educators through their education program, and support them in finding ways to get that paid for so that they can actually make money while also learning the trade of being a great teacher in the hopes of staying in our district community. Because I'm a firm believer that we have to invest in our community to actually expand our community with community members. It can't always be outsiders coming in. We do need some outsiders, but it can't be all outsiders. It has to be a combination so that we can actually move the district in the right direction. And so far, since I've been here in the 2.5 years, we have been moving the district in the right direction. The data shows that. The community has expressed that. And if there's anything that I can do, it would be is to learn from you. What are some of the do's and don'ts that are being brought to you, that I can figure out how to rethink how we do things. And I look forward to the partnership, not just with the assembly member or the electeds, but also community members that are vested in the community. You may not have a child in the school, but I'm sure you know a neighbor who does. And I know a lot based on where I grew up, where our neighbors took care of us too. Because if they saw me doing something wrong, my mother knew about it before she got home. So I'm sure we're there with that. Yeah.
So that is our Superintendent, Rafael Alvarez, sharing all the greatness that's happening right here in the Bronx. And so we appreciate you for that. I'm glad that you said that, you were looking to partner with people in the community, myself, the other electeds. And I just want to remind everyone that I do have an advisory board. My staff will drop it in the chat again. If you are interested in being a part of the advisory board for the 79th District, feel free to sign up. It's a simple form that asks, like, what are you interested in helping with? And how the advisory board works is when there are important decisions to be made, I will be coming to you all to ask questions, get your feedback, and now it'll help me make my final decisions on the important things that happen in our district, in our borough, in our city, in our state. So they'll drop it in the chat one more time. If you're interested in the advisory board, please do so. Please sign up. So I appreciate you again, Superintendent Alvarez.
Sure, always.
Okay, so my team sent me a text message to remind you all that we have 3 minutes each because we have a short time span. We have a lot of people that want to speak and share what's happening in the community. And a reminder of the questions: what's working in the district, what's not working, how can we be helpful, and if there are any financial requirements to if there's any financial assistance needed, let us know what that might be. So next, I'm going to go to my brother, Sleep Johnson, founder of Seaball. You have 3 minutes. My team said they will not take any mess from anybody, so they cutting people mics, and I don't want them to cut anyone's mic. So we got 3 minutes. Go ahead, Sleep.
All right, I'm gonna be nice. Okay, so first I was assigned a little bit, you guys told me, so this is not my 3 minutes first. Farrah said to Blake, will you expand the program to the elementary school? So that was one. I'm gonna put that aside. I have my own question. Why can't we turn going to Africa instead of Puerto Rico? That's my question. I don't know. And then now I start. Chantel, thank you so much for all you've done. You saved my niece's life when you was in school and doing your counsel work. And with that, you know, I was like her father. So I want to thank you for the work that you did, because she's a beautiful, beautiful young lady that's doing great things. And it was someone in the school that she said that was helping her. I never knew. She said it was you. So I owe you my life. I got you. The baby, I don't know about anyone else. You already know I'm the godfather, so I don't care. So with that said, let me get into what it is. We got so many programs that if we get funding or not, we're going to be good. Because you know what? God loves us. And check this out. I'm in the position to get a $19 million deal. So I'm going to take my own money and put it in my own not-for-profit. And if you give me some of your dope from the city, state, wherever it is, we still going to get lit. So that's what it is. And no, when you see me drinking tea, I'm on a fast, actually. And all I drank was tea, sea moss, elderberry. So I'm high off of life. So don't get it twisted. Okay, here we go. Now, we got the Healthy Men, Healthy Women program. We got the Wire program. We got the 5 Family program. We got all those programs. If you want to know, check this out. I got a temporary assistant. She is my wife-to-be. February 19th, y'all all invited to the wedding. I'll give y'all the invite. I mean, everybody's invited if you want to come. If you're scared of COVID, hey, don't worry. God is going to bless us. We're going to be fine. With that said, I think I'm done. It was less than 1 minute. We good. Bang. Oh, I got to give you the number. Her number is, and be nice to her, because that's my wife, 646-548-54554. Again, 646-548-4554. That is my temporary assistant right now until I get my 19 million.
Wait, does she know you giving out the number? That's what I want to know.
She do. She good.
Okay.
She good.
Somebody type it in the chat.
Shout out to my heart, Tracy Woodall. She's on the line. That's my heart. That's my right hand. My wife and my left hand. Together we make it work. I love women. And what else? I'm trying to make it 1 minute. My brother's keeper. I'm in. Sign me up. I'm down. Okay. What else is next? I'm trying to help. Yo, I think that's it. You call up, we talk about the programs, less than 1 minute, boom, I'm out.
Just like that. He had 30 seconds to spare. We appreciate you, Sleep. Thank you for all the work you've been doing with C-Ball and all the other programs that you have initiated and will be initiating to come.
I'm sorry for all the single ladies, in Claremont Village. I got Neo singing Miss Independent on Valentine's Day. So get ready. They waiting for me. They've been pressuring me. So they want to do this. And I got so many other surprises. I'm doing a breakfast honoring Abraham Jones.
Oh no, they muted you. Oh my God. Y'all dead wrong. Dead wrong. Oh my God, y'all funny. All right. I told you they.
Wow, I ain't even.
All right, I'm not laughing at Sleep. I'm just laughing at how brutal my team is. They're not playing with this 3 minutes. But Sleep was acknowledging that he has breakfast that he's going to acknowledge our great Abraham Jones over at Claremont Center. So shout out to him. Princess, make sure you show up for that that Neo thing for Valentine's Day. All right.
Definitely.
So next we're going to go to, and they are serious about this mute button. We're going to go to Bacola, founder and executive director of Welcome to America. Bacola, you have 3 minutes. And as you can see, these people are serious about their 3 minutes. Bacula's ready, my sister, you ready? So we'll find her. We'll go to, we have our favorite Assemblywoman on the line. I saw her name pop in. So shout out to our favorite Assemblywoman, which is not me. It is Diana Richardson from I'm about to say Boogie Down Bronx, from Brooklyn. So shout out to our favorite Assemblywoman, Diana Richardson, all the way from Brooklyn. Okay, so we'll go to Farah. Farah from CEC 8, El Presidente. So let's unmute Farah.
Oh, wow. Thank you for this opportunity. Assemblywoman Jackson, congratulations on the baby. And I want you to know that I'm putting in my application for godmother, especially if it's a girl, because I don't have a girl. So, trying to stick to my 3 minutes and the questions, I guess. So in terms of what's working in the district, I think I'm really happy about all the conversations that are going on in terms of trying to lift up voices and our problems and how to solve them. So the other night, I think it was maybe last night or the night before, I was actually on a webinar with you and Stringer, I'm sorry, the controller. And I heard you say that, you and your team, you're going, block by block to check out the businesses and make sure that they are okay. And I actually welcome that approach. And I hope you will do it for the schools because, my major problem, and I mean, I can talk about a million problems in our community, but I'm really more passionate about education because I think if we can solve the problem of education, we can solve everything else. So in education, the number one thing that I would like to see is actually bringing parents, right, to the table in terms of governance and decision making, because as we can see in terms of what happened at the PEP the other day, parents are furious, right? That things are brought up and they are asked and things are being done without their consent, without their opinions. And that doesn't cost money, I don't think, because it's a question of writing a policy, right? Of writing a law that actually requires the DOE to invite parents to the table in a meaningful way. And the other thing that I have in terms of education is also the fact that education is truly meant to prepare people for the future. So I say bring back vocational and technical education. And we at CC8, we have a program for that. And we are, magnifying it everywhere we can in terms of making people aware of it. So I would love it if you came to the table with us and see how we can bring vocational and technical education back. And also in terms of our buildings, we have something going on right now with the STA. And, the idea of renovating our buildings, and look at what Traeger is doing in Brooklyn in terms of Dewey High School. And today, oh my God, 31 seconds, I don't have time. But the point is I want to bring innovation to our schools and prepare them for the kind of programs that we want to bring, right? Because if we want to teach if we want our kids like he's doing in Brooklyn to study law, then it makes sense to have courtrooms attached to our schools and the same for journalism and so on and so forth. So with 10 seconds to go, thank you so much. Let's talk because I have real programs and real ideas. Thank you and congratulations again.
So my baby has a godfather and a godmother, and the district has a lot happening when it comes to schools and programming. Farah, I took my notes. I am going to do a block by block for our schools. So what Farah's talking about is yesterday, the comptroller, Scott Stringer, held a town hall for Bronx elected officials and Bronx residents. And I shared with him, like, I'm really on the ground. Like, I believe in doing groundwork. So my team and I will be going block by block to check on the businesses that we have in our district, see which businesses have left, and making sure that they have a connection to my office. So for one reason is that I want to make sure that we can team up community people with community jobs. So if the businesses are in the community, I want to make sure that we can, when they have openings and positions available, that we can offer it to the community first. So that's one reason. And also to help problem solve wherever they may need help in that area. But yes, I hear you on the schools. I'm grateful that I've been able to meet with a few of my schools already, but we have well over 100. So I'm gonna do my best to meet with as many as possible. So thank you for bringing that up. So I just want to plug also to get involved. If you guys want to be involved in other ways, you can join your community board. I believe the deadline, if somebody please correct me, but the deadline I believe is tomorrow, or is it the 11th? It's either tomorrow or the 11th. My staff will make sure that I get the right date. But community boards, we have at least We have community board 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 in our district. So you probably live in one of those community boards. So please join that if you have the time and wish to serve. And so just so you guys are aware of who's coming up, I have Bakula on next. If she's not available, we'll be going to Clyde Thompson, and then Miriam, and then Wahira. So Bakula, Clyde, Miriam, Wahira. So is Bakula on?
No, she's not on. You can move on to the next.
Okay. So we're going to go to Clyde Thompson from DFOI. I call him the mayor of Butler, but wait, is Clyde on?
Yeah, no, I don't see him on either.
Okay, so we'll go to Miriam, and Miriam represents a lot of different organizations, and that's I think tonight she's going to talk about your Young African Network, if I'm not mistaken, Miriam. Let's unmute Miriam.
Sorry, I'm like juggling with my son. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to see so many familiar faces from my time in government. Happy to see folks still out there doing the work. But yeah, my name is Miriam. I Bronx born and raised, a lot of work in the district. Really happy to have a new assembly member, continue on the work of a great assembly member. But wanted to talk a little bit about an organization that I work on with, I think my colleague is coming on, but I represent the Young African Network, YAN for sure. Sorry, I'm breathing so hard. I had to run and get my representing the Young African Network. We're a New York City-wide organization working on growing civic engagement opportunities for young African professionals. So we work on creating events where we promote civic engagement, promote information around how to navigate government, how to advocate to electeds, to grow resources for the African community. Also engage with, I guess I can't say that word, but engage with folks who want to take on leadership positions in their community. So definitely want to work with you all. Worked with the assembly member prior to her coming on into office on growing work, growing resources, growing engagement with the African community. We're a growing and thriving community, really heavy population in the 79th district, and this community has done work in this district for a number of years. So definitely want to continue on with that. I can put in the chat our email, our social media handles. Would love to hear from folks about ways they would want to work with the Young African Network again to grow civic engagement. So yeah, I do want to do like a really quick shameless plug-in. By day, I work at Planned Parenthood of Greater New York. I oversee our government relations operations. So working with elected officials, working with government agencies, working with community-based organizations to grow sexual reproductive healthcare services in communities in need. We have a lot of different programs, hoping to grow more services in the 79th district, in the South Bronx, throughout the city. Our services are free or low cost to any individual in need. So I will also put my official Planned Parenthood of Greater New York email in the chat. If folks want to connect, figure out ways we can partner, bring Planned Parenthood of Greater New York to your communities. Definitely looking forward to talking through that more. So yeah, I will stop there. I think I have.
Okay, with 13 seconds to spare. I was going to plug Planned Parenthood if you didn't, so thank you for that. And Miriam and I had a really good conversation when I first found out that I was pregnant, because I knew that I wanted to have a lot of discussion around maternal health. And so she and I will continue to partner and figure out ways to make sure moms are safe during delivery and after, right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Is Wahira here? Well, we'll just shout her out, say hey to her. And I want to just acknowledge some people who are here with us, our TAs, our resident leaders, our people who are on the ground making this work happen. Shout out to our female district leader who's here with us, Princess Lanita Jones. I believe Gene Edwards is our male district leader, and he is listening in at somewhere. I don't know where, but he's listening in. So shout out to him. I want to shout out Cheney at Morrisania Air Rights, Cassandra Boland at Melrose, Gwen Primus at Webster Morrisania, and Danny Barber, who reps right here across the street from me, Andrew Jackson, but also he's the big man in charge at CCOP, right, Danny? That's the man in charge. And I have to shout out our Rev Torrance Robinson, a Gethsemane Missionary Baptist Church, who's here with us. We should have had him open us up in prayer, because then we probably would have been on our best behavior. But next time we're gonna have him open us up in prayer. All right, so we're moving on. So we just had Miriam join us. Bacola's not here. Clyde, did we get Clyde in? If not, we're gonna go to Danny Barber. So Clyde, no, so Danny Barber. Oh, y'all missing out. We about to open it up to the floor if y'all not here. Okay, cool. So this is what we'll do now. What we will do is open it up to our question and answer period from the floor. It is a raise hand option. So once your hands are raised, we will acknowledge you and give you a chance to, give you your 3 minutes to share what your concerns are or what's working in the district and how we can be of assistance. And right now, I see the hands of T. Hurley. So can we unmute T. Hurley?
I'm here. Hi, good evening, Chantel.
What's your first name? Who's this? I'm not sure who this is.
This is T. Hurley. My first name is Tennille.
Oh, hi, Tennille.
Hi, so nice to meet you. Congratulations on the baby to come. Congratulations on the first month in office. Everything sounds like it's going really well. And I'm also a licensed clinical social worker, so I'm so excited to hear all these things about you. I have an issue community-wise, I'm right on Washington Avenue between 159th Street and 160th. We're close to a homeless shelter. We have concerns about cleanliness, needles, some loitering. Obviously, we have care and concern for our homeless brothers and sisters, but we do have some area cleanliness concerns. But my call right now, and I had emailed your team twice in the past week or so, is in our building, we have a superintendent who's squatting, and the superintendent does not pay rent, so he's not a tenant, but he's benefiting from the protections that the housing court is offering him. It's affecting us greatly. It's a live-in position. We can't hire anyone else to work, and it's leaving our building at risk. Also the surrounding immediate community, because he's responsible for clearing the streets, around the building. So that affects cleanliness for everyone. And we just really need help. Like, we need to get this guy out, and any way that you can assist us, that would be awesome.
So thank you for bringing that up. My team actually did make me aware of it. We had a conversation around it. I'm actually just referring back to Kelvin. Kelvin, can you tell us where we are with this?
Hi, yes. So if it's helpful, we can reconvene with you after the meeting, and we can discuss further what transpired in the case, and work together in that, so that we can give others opportunity to address other concerns, since we're
okay.
Is that okay with you?
So let's make sure that we give her a response before 24 hours. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So we're on it. They did make me aware of it. So thank you for letting us know again.
Okay. And you want me to get that response via email? Wait for Kelvin. How would I get that response?
So Kelvin knows your situation.
Okay.
So Kelvin's going to make a phone call to you to get the details from you, and then we can move forward from there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. So look, so just for everyone else's knowledge base, Kelvin is our constituent services director. So he does a lot of of the phone calls, the reaching out, and the response to your phone calls and your emails. So that's why I'll defer to Kelvin for some of the things that you guys may be talking about. And so at this point, I see that black hand raised by our Reverend Robinson. So let's bring Reverend Robinson in. I love a black hand raised.
First of all, to everyone, good evening. Assemblywoman Jackson, that sounds so good to say. We worked as a church very closely with the former Assemblyman Michael Blake, a good brother. But I have two quick questions. I see that the clock is running. Baptist preachers can be long-winded sometimes, so I'm going to cut it short. First, I want to know where you stand on development of affordable housing projects in the Bronx. I've heard that there was some backpedaling on that idea based upon people being concerned about gentrification, which I think is a wrong concern. And secondly, there's a senior housing project at 2070 Clinton Avenue, where they're having a horrible time with keeping apartments heated. And I wanted to know what could be done to help those seniors. Sometimes they're not treated well because they don't have a voice or don't use their voice. But one of my members happens to be the TA president, and she has a very loud mouth, and I'm certain she would mind me saying that, and she's kicking up a lot of dust over there. But my concern is it is a NYCHA house, and I want to be sure that they're held accountable for the replacement of the windows and the terrace doors, which are not insulated, and these people have a horrible blast of wind passing through the apartment. She sent me a picture of it. It's just a horrible situation. But those two issues, and I'll get to your office and talk to you more in depth about other issues. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. We've been in communication, and like I said, we'll sit down and have a full run through of some of the things we can do to support each other. As far as the heating issues, Kelvin, it's the first time we heard about this one, 2070 Clinton Avenue.
I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to check in our tracker, but I'm sure we do have cases involving something similar of that nature. So I'll definitely.
It was in the news yesterday.
Definitely.
278 apartments there on Clinton Avenue.
238.
You heard what she said? 230.
I think it was 78, but okay.
It's 238.
So look, seriously, because we are in the worst of our winter, and so my team is definitely going to jump in on this, especially because it's a NYCHA development. We have a working relationship with them. When I say working, that means we get in their behinds about a lot of these things. Barbara is also on this call, and so we definitely, if we have not already, we'll jump on it starting tomorrow. Okay. And then, so Reverend Robinson, what I also, if you could just shoot me an email with the person who you said is the leader of that development, and then we can definitely be in conversation with them so they are aware of the things that we've been doing since you let us know about it. Okay. So, and just so you guys know, like, this is the work that I do now is not much different than me being a social worker. Like, this is the things that we did. We did a lot of case management. I don't get to do a lot of one-on-one counseling anymore, but the case management part still happens. So I'm kind of used to this. My team has been around since they were with Michael, most of them. So they are very much aware of these things, and they'll continue to work on your behalf. Okay, so we have that. We're gonna move into Ms. Matos. Is it Jahida?
Yes, you're right.
There we go, Jahida.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. I just have a question. I live in the Bronx for the past decade, I will say, and I love my community, very diverse. But we're having an issue with many constructions, and I don't see any single recreation area being created. The parkings are literally a mess. Around my block, I have at least 10 constructions. We don't have a decent playground. So my question is, what are those developers doing to improve the community? Because it's not just about housing and expanding the community. It's also bringing recreational areas for our kids and the neighborhood.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. housing is important, right? We understand that we have a housing shortage, but the truth is we do need our green areas. And I speak a lot about mental and physical wellness, and we need safe spaces to do that. Our community boards, this is an issue that we take directly to them and say like, hey, I know these things are being approved, but did we think about the parks and, where are we going to go to play? I know when I was on the call with CB4, they had a conversation around parks because they're putting up a new development, and extremely low income development on 167th and Webster, but they're like, okay, so where are the young people going to play if you're putting up another development? So this is something that not necessarily I at the state level will be doing, but our city people would be more involved in. And so what we can do is make sure that you reach out to our office and let us know the area, because we don't know that. Let us know the area and see if we can have conversations around with the city about their plans and the community board that's responsible for your area, and see what conversations they've been having with those developers, okay?
So that will be directly to Kevin or somebody else?
Kelvin is our
Kelvin.
services. And Kelvin, drop the email again in there so that Yahida can reach out to you and let us know the area so we can figure out what community board that is.
Thank you.
Okay. And so we have, I actually don't see any more hands, but I did want to bring in Ms. Brown. Can we unmute Ms. Brown? Because Ms. Brown is a part of, which community board are you a part of? You 3 or 2? You're 3? Okay, unmute Ms. Brown for me, Kelvin, or, there we go.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm Joetta Brown, Community Board 3. I am the, okay, I'm on the board, but I'm also chair of the Education Committee. And my concern is education. I'm also on the board of directors of Claremont Neighborhood Centers with Abraham Jones. And at my Education Committee meeting, I had several parents there, and they were really concerned about the continuation of the remote learning situation. And I would just like for your assistance in general to the schools to make sure that they have the equipment that they need, because sometimes the equipment does not work. Because Mr. Jones has a component in his center, and there were several of these laptops or iPads or whatever, but they just didn't work. They may work sometimes, but they don't work all the time. And then I just heard that in the budget that the governor is proposing cuts to the education budget. And we know that being in New York City, that we always are on the tail end of the budget. We get less money than we put in. So I just want to urge you to continue to fight for an equitable school budget.
The key word was equitable. Key word was equitable, and I'm with you 100%. As I sit on the education committee, we had a hearing, a budget hearing conversation, and we're all yelling and screaming like, you cannot take money from our kids, not during this time when we need it the absolute most. Specifically around the iPads, if you could give us an idea of which schools are having that issue, we can be in contact with the chancellor and our superintendents. We don't have to go as far as the chancellor if we don't have to, but we can definitely be in contact with our superintendents and let them know which ones are the issue, and they can help us alleviate that problem. So the iPads have been an issue, the Wi-Fi has been an issue, and those are things that we've been working on in small increments, but still working on from my office directly. And I also make sure that we connect you all to the people who are in control of those things. So I see our superintendent here, Alvarez, shaking his head.
Yeah, Chantel, Ms. Brown, if there are any schools in Community Board 3 that are part of District 7, I believe we're Community Board 1, as far as...
There are a few, there may be 1 or 2.
Okay.
Okay. Because as far as I know, in Community School District 7, and I usually share at the CEC meetings, we show how many devices have been provided. And then we also have, we explain to the community if there are any concerns, who to reach out to get support. Some of them have actually been locked. And that's because they haven't been verified and done certain things. So the DOE has locked them. So they have to be unlocked. And some of the families weren't aware of that. So I know that in District 7, we worked really hard. And anyone who doesn't have a device, we've been finding devices. We partnered with the NAACP, who's provided 426 laptops for our school district. We partner with several other agencies that have been providing us hotspots to be able to provide for those technologies. So if there's any, please, I sent my email into the chat. I'll put it again. Please let me know because I'd be more than happy to support Assemblymember Jackson in ensuring that your students have them. And even if they're not in my district, please let me know anyway, because I speak to my superintendent colleagues on a daily basis. So I can always forward your concern over to the correct superintendent.
Yep, there you go. And it's just like that, community building right here. And Reverend Robinson, I don't want to forget your other question about affordable housing. Yes, we are continuing to build affordable housing here in the Bronx, as you can hear from your Haida, like it's a lot of construction happening here. And I don't want to forget about our parks, but yes, affordable housing is going up. As I mentioned earlier, Community Board 4 let us know that there is going to be an extremely low income housing going up on Webster and 167. And they brought up the concern about parks, but that development is actually going to have some kind of a playground inside. So they have a central area for those kids to hang out, play, and get their exercise. So yes, affordable housing will continue to go up in the Bronx, but we cannot forget about our green areas. I'm really big on green areas and fresh fruit and vegetables for our wellness. So we'll talk more about that in another meeting. So I didn't want to forget that question. I'm going to go to Gwen Primus, and then I'm going to go to George Lopez. Okay, so go ahead, Gwen.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to touch on the remote learning. I'm just hearing a lot of things. Everybody know my former background is education as well. So we need to, if at all possible, do a training for parents, because that's where we're finding where a lot of glitches are. Parents not knowing how to help their kids with this remote learning. And they need to know there is extra curriculums that they can go to. I'm the chairperson for education for the NAACP Bronx branch. And I will share websites with any and everyone where parents can go to and get help for their kids with extra curriculum work, but more so parents getting being able to navigate those tablets and the Wi-Fi in their house. We have kids who go days without getting on their tablets because the parents do not know how to assist them. And I know there are call-ins, but still we have kids, and I know superintendents could testify, the absentee rate on a daily basis from kids who are not signing in because they can't or don't know how or lost the Wi-Fi connection. We need to help parents to know where they can go and get this assistance. And if they can't get it immediately, they can go to a website to get assistance.
Thank you, Gwen, for bringing that up again. I believe Farah and I talked about this before, and then Superintendent Alvarez and I can definitely have more conversation about how do we bring training to parents around, one, the remote learning, but two, the iPads in particular and Wi-Fi access. So I'll continue to have that conversation with Farah and with our superintendent. Gwen, that's an excellent point, and I'll make sure that we get on that. So after Gwen, I said we're going to go to George Lopez, but I just want also Fred Washington to be, Detective Fred, I need you to be here, and then Chaz, I'm going to you after I go to Fred, okay? So just be here, ready to go after George. The real George Lopez, y'all.
Right, you remember that, huh? So good evening, everyone. My question is along the lines of what a lot of constituents, participants here have been talking about, which is equity. I noticed, I saw about a month ago, one of the, all right, I'll say it's a CUNY school posted about having some, hiring a guy from Turkey come and teach, whatever. Okay. But I'm here thinking, right, why are they not investing, or they not hiring our local members in the community? Companies, can do that and change the dynamics of the neighborhood. You can't work in one place and say, wow, this neighborhood is crazy, without doing anything for the neighborhood. If you invest in your neighborhood and you bring up the people that are in the neighborhood that are qualified, I'm sure you would change the dynamics of the neighborhood. And the Bronx will get out of that red zone where everybody's, oh, that's the Bronx, that's the Bronx. You understand? So I think we have to invest in our people and our community.
Amen, amen, amen. I remember Superintendent Alvarez talked about having our young people go into the para professional, and I forget what the other area you said. So that's one way we can do that, hire people from our neighborhoods. Another thing that I've been talking about with Banana Kelly is having our young people support the Department of Sanitation with cleaning up the Bronx, because that's one of my issues with the Bronx is the filth and the dirt that we have all over the place. So I'm working with Banana Kelly to get our young people to partner with Department of Sanitation to make sure that we can get them jobs to clean up and beautify our neighborhoods. And then we have to be mindful of the contracts we give to people to come into our neighborhoods, that they make sure that at least 51% of the people who work there come from the areas in which they want to be serving and investing in. So I'm with you 100%. There was one more thing you want to say, George, go ahead.
Yeah, because the thing that stops them from coming in, these young people or entrepreneurs or whatever, is that all the jobs basically are asking for like master's degree. And with this remote learning, there's a lot of problems now. I'm hearing in the news we're going to lose a generation of students. So we'll never catch up. We live here, we gotta fix our own and take care of our own, not for nothing, but just to build up. And these kids have bright lives in front of them. They can do it.
100%. Is Ronnie Hector still here? Because Ronnie runs the EOC, and Ronnie can talk to us about the training, the training that they offer at the EOC to get our people prepared for those same jobs you were saying that we're not qualified for. So team, let me know if Ronnie is here. If not, I want to make sure that we plug Ronnie Hector at the EOC, which is right here in our community, for people to get trainings in different areas so they can get those higher paying jobs. But I'm working with you, George. I hear you loud and clear. Thank you for that. So we're going to Detective Fred Washington, then we're going to go to Chaz Green. Yeah.
How you doing, everybody? Detective Fred Washington from Bronx Outreach Division. Just want to say hello to everybody. I just came online. I'm out. I just want to say I'm out sick right now. But when I come back, I want to do a lot of things for Superintendent Alvarez, because the Bronx Outreach Division want to go to schools and talk to the kids in the community, but it's kind of hard to do it right now because we're going through a lot of stuff with the protests and everything of the sort. Can you give me more information with that? And also with the NYPD, what we see is a lot of people is coming up to us and talking to us, but we don't see a lot of other people, more people coming up to us because they scared. And everybody said, you hear on the news, everybody against the NYPD, everybody's against the NYPD. But I see now it's like times are changing. The NYPD is coming out there trying to introduce themselves to people and trying to be a friend. But a lot of people's turning their backs on them. But if you see an NYPD cop, just go up to him and say hello. He will talk to you. He will talk to you. He will conversate with you. That's what they want. That's what the cops want to do. But a lot of people is listening to the media, what's going on, and it's not like that. It's not like that. And I just want to just say that. And I want to do a lot more other stuff with the Bronx community. I did a lot of stuff with everybody. Well, a couple of people on here, but I'm just saying, as an NYPD police officer, we are here for you no matter what. That's all I have to say about it.
So thank you, Detective Washington. So we've had a lot of conversation around policing in our neighborhoods. Just so you know, Fred is one of those officers that really are on the ground. Like, people know him. They know him by his AKA. But the the community they know you, and that what Fred is offering is that he wants to have that relationship with the number of officers that come into our community, and they're here to protect us. And so, Fred, I already know you and Superintendent Alvarez are going to be able to link up. If that doesn't happen, I'll make sure it happens, so we can continue this work of bridging that communication between the community and our officers. So shout out to the 4-2. Shout out to our wait, where are you now, Fred?
Oh, I left the 4-2 precinct. I'm with Chief Madry. So I'm with Bronx Outreach Division. So I'm like community affairs for the whole entire Bronx.
Yep.
So anytime y'all need anything from the Bronx Outreach Division, I could go anywhere in the Bronx to help out. Any community, any social gathering, anything you want us to do, we'll be there for you, no matter what time of day. And I'll make sure of that. We will change.
So we appreciate that, one officer at a time. Okay, so let's go to my brother Chaz Green for the adventures of Chantel and Chaz. Chaz, you muted. Wait, you're muted right now. Hold on. Now you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Maybe it's your headphones. It might be the headphones because we can't hear you.
No.
Now we can hear you. Wait.
So first of all, I want to say, hey, Shanny, congratulations and everything. Boom, boom. Look, much respect to you. That's Officer Boom Boom Washington. I love you, bro. And I know that it's going to be an uphill climb for people to love and trust the police department. I'm also a member of the police department with the school safety division. So Chantel, you know how hard I work being a community activist with different events like Guns Down Life Up, anti-bullying events and everything. And you always support me, and you're really a ground trooper. And I'm blessed to communicate with everybody that's out there. But one of my main problems is, when you're saying affordable housing, I really don't understand what affordable housing is, because it almost seems as if, I know some homeless people, some working homeless people, and it just seems like they cannot get apartments or get any kind of help with the system. One of the other things that I'm extremely offended by, and I think, hello, Mr. Alvarez, I'll be working with you soon too. One of the things I'm also offended with is construction. Now, I can't remember the construction company that worked on 167th and Fulton Avenue prior to this year, but they supported different functions. They actually brought soda and food for an outside event I had. But the rest of the construction companies couldn't care less about the community, and they can make up, what's unfortunate, they can make up their own parking regulations. They have cars towed. They can put up their own signs and everything. My problem is, in order for us to get our community together, somebody has to communicate with us, because we never know what's going on in our community. And one other thing, no disrespect to people of color. I'm sick and tired of people saying brown and black, then I must be yellow because I'm extremely light. But one of the problems that I have is that the community, to respect, like they can start building a complex in our community, and we have no idea that the complex is going to be started. The ground is broken and everything. In other communities, and no disrespect, but in white communities, they know 2 years in advance before any construction. And one other part that go with this very, very sad, is I really haven't seen any low income housing, because I've seen a lot of shelters. I've seen a lot of halfway houses, and no disrespect, I understand they need a place to live or everything. But like you said, Chantel, with your profession, they need to be taught. Not taught like that, but they need to be just retrained, restructured, give them some kind of survival skills. Stop just throwing homeless people in my community and ex-addicts, homeless people, ex-addicts, and you're just throwing them in my community, and you're not giving them, they're not giving any kind of just teaching or anything to survive. So that's my only problem.
So I heard everything you said. As far as the shelters and the halfway houses, yes, there is a need for it. However, they don't need to dump all of them in one community, right? So you don't, if you go to the Upper East Side and Upper West Side, you're not going to see them flooded with shelters. The other thing is that we need to get permanent housing for people. Like shelters are good for the, the here and the now, but we need people to be in public and regular permanent housing with social services, is what I heard Chaz mention. Like you want to make sure that they have the services needed for them to maintain their rent, maintain their health and wellness. All of those things are absolutely necessary. And Ms. Brown, can you speak to how the community board are helpful, how they are helpful in the creation of like housing in that area, or how shelters are erected in certain areas?
If it is under New York City, it comes before the Land Use Committee. And the Land Use Committee of Community Board 3 meets the third Monday of each month at 6 p.m.
So you hear that? So what I will say is that in some neighborhoods, people are a little more active in their community boards than in others. So that's why they know what's happening in the community before it happens. I'll also say that they don't always share with the community boards the information they're supposed to in a timely manner. So I will say that, but how you get information before you see it going up in your neighborhood is to be a part of your community board, whichever it may be. And I think Chaz, I think you are 3. I think where you're
Yeah,
at.
I'm 3.
Okay.
3. And last but not least, Chantel, last but not least, I understand we didn't have any choice or anything to do with all those the excessive bikes that was put there, was very, very disappointing. And I'm very disappointed in Ruben Diaz, because I heard Ruben Diaz backed it up, and I love Ruben Diaz. But one thing about, like, they didn't have to put 20 in a 2-block radius, like 20 here and then 20 there. So that's actually 40. So they didn't have to do it. It was like an overkill.
Yeah. So you guys know I'm an avid cyclist. So I fight for bike lanes. I love for everyone to be out on their bike. However, I was with you when they started putting the city bikes in parking spaces. And so what City Bike did say is that if you can show them an area that is better suited for that bike, for the city bikes, they will move it to that area. And they're not from where we're from. So they just stick things, where they are. I believe the community boards had some insight on, or say in where certain bikes were put up.
Community Board 3 is following up that initiative, and we are looking for other sites for some of these city bike stations.
See, there you go.
And the park.
No, well, we want them close to where people can access them. So like Crotona Park, you wouldn't want to stick a bike in there because you would have to travel into Crotona to get the bike. So it's for commuting within a short distance. And so we want to put them somewhere that's accessible to the community. And you also want to not remove the parking, the little bit of parking we do have. So we want to find the happy medium. And I want everyone to be out on a bike. It's my mission to make sure that all our young people in the 79th district gets a bike. So I'm working with a few different organizations to sponsor some bikes for my young people. So I'm promoting it, but I understand your parking spaces.
Thank you, Chantel. And I'm on Team Chantel, and I'm Chaz Green, and I approve this message.
Bye, Chaz. Bye, Chaz. Okay, so we're gonna hear from our female district leader, Lanita Jones, and then I want to, there was someone else I wanted to hear from, and I can't remember, but go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Am I unmuted?
You are.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to talk to the Detective Washington. I wanted him to put his information in the chat. He already did that. But I had a situation where I went to Victor Rivera's office to pick up some pantries, and my shopping cart was full of pantries. And as soon as I got to 169 and Washington Avenue, it was like a pothole. It had snowed that day, so I was walking in the streets with a pantry on my shopping cart, and my cart fell over, and I almost fell over the cart. And I seen 2 officers on the corner, and they didn't pay me no attention. They didn't say, oh, are you okay, miss? Whatever, whatever. I see them all the time on the corner. They be on their phones. They don't be engaging with the community. So, you know, if you can help us with that, then that would be helpful. Also with the bikes, on 169 and 3rd Avenue, the bikes was removed on the corner and now they put them back. I would suggest that they put the bikes on the sidewalk instead of taking up parking space. It's very sad that they're putting the bikes in the streets and taking up parking spaces. A lot of people who's driving, I know we need to use the bikes to exercise, and also the kids are using the bikes. I seen bikes left, I seen bikes wheels off, they you know, it's just unbelievable in how the bike situation is happening. I don't know if they trying to set our children up to, you know, they still in the bikes and, you know, have them to be incarcerated. But I really don't think that is such a good idea to have so many bikes in the Bronx and the radius that they are putting them in. You know, they have one on 169, they have one on 170th and 3rd, then Webster Avenue. It's like all over. And I don't know if these kids are still in the bikes or how they get in the bikes and then they leaving them on the corners.
So I heard 3 different things. I heard that pothole, which I want to hear. I want to know if it's still there, because if not, if it is, then we want to call the city and make sure that they come out and fix that. But with the snow, they're gonna wait, because they know once the, you know, once the snow comes out and the salt and sand goes out, that creates more of the potholes. So we definitely want to make sure we get that covered up though when we can. And you have my number, so you know you can text me at any point, or my team. The officers, though, I don't know if Fred's still here, because Fred's here, but he's not feeling too well, so we want to give him a little bit.
No, I'm listening to what she's saying.
Okay,
did you go, only thing I want to ask, did you go up to the officers and ask them for help? Or did they see you from a distance?
They saw me when I fell. They saw me falling over my cart. And it took like a few minutes before anybody came to my service, and it was the neighborhood kids that said, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" They saw me. And then they walked away. So I was like saying, "Oh, Dad, you know, the officers," you know, I started speaking out, like the officers saw me and they just walked away. Like they ain't see nothing.
Fred, just a question.
Next time something like that happens, just go up to the officer and say, "Officer, can you help me out?"
I was exhausted from walking from 164th Washington to 169 in Washington. It took me an hour and 45 minutes to get from 164 Washington Avenue to 169, where I live at, to get the stuff to my house.
So I'm with you. I hear what you're saying. You shouldn't. So if someone sees you in distress, especially when their job is to help us, they should definitely, you know, be of service to you. However, what I'm hearing what Fred say, like, put them on blast. Like, hello, officer, I need help. Because once you do that, they have to respond to you. You know, some people don't have the good grace of Detective Washington. Like, they don't. You know, they're not community people. If I would have saw it, regardless of my state, I still would have ran over to help you, because that's who I am. But I understand that everyone's not like that. So we have to put them on blast. And I was going to ask if you got their badge number or whatever, but they walked away.
No, they walked away. And also, you know, they are in the community to build relationships, and they're on their phones mostly. They're not building relationships.
Right. And so we're going to have more community conversations, especially with our precincts. So I know, like, I have the 4-0, the 4-4, the 4-2, the 4-8, PSA 7. Like, I have all of those precincts that serve my district. And so what we're going to do, because you're my district leader and my male district leader, Gene Edwards, all of us are going to be working with them to start building that relationship. They work for us. We're going to put them to work.
And I have one other thing I wanted to express. In order for us to know about what's going on in our community, we have to get involved. Y'all already said Assemblywoman Chantel and what's the lady name from the community board? Y'all already mentioned that you have to get involved with your community board to find out about what's going on in your community as far as construction sites and stuff like that is concerned.
You're right. And our police precinct council meetings, right? So there's
Right.
plenty of places for us to get involved. If you can't serve on the community board, and just so you know, they're taking young people as young as 16 years old to serve on community boards. So it doesn't have to be older folks all the time making these decisions and going to these meetings. So our young folks can get involved, but you can also be a part of our police precinct council meetings, which happen. I'm not sure we have those precincts that I mentioned, but everyone has a different schedule of when they meet. So there's plenty of ways to get involved. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to my office and we can plug you guys in those spaces. So I see ID, and I'm not sure who that is, but I see your hand is raised, so I'm going to give you the floor to speak next.
Thank you, Chantel. This is Letitia.
Oh,
how are you?
Hey, girl. That's my neighbor, y'all.
I just have a quick question. I'm not too sure if this falls in your jurisdiction, but my question relates to SYEP. I'm wondering if this summer they're going to offer that for our young folk. I know last summer it was on the light side, partly because of COVID and all that other stuff. So I'm just curious to know what the plan is this year. And I also know you mentioned something related to sanitation. You're considering partnering or collaborating with them to see if there's something that our young folk can do. So your thoughts and I guess response to that. Thank you.
Okay, so with SYEP, that is city. And last year they took the money out the budget and we fought like HE double hockey sticks, Reverend Robinson, to get that money back in. So we definitely fought and we got it back in. And so this year, I don't know. I pray to God that we do have it in the budget. I will advocate, you will hear me loud and clear about the necessity for SYEP. My daughter benefited from it. A lot of us who are here have worked, some of you, if y'all remember back in the day when it was like $3.15, $4.15 an hour, right? Well, it's not this $15. So if they try any funny mess with our SYEP, trust and believe that I will be there very loud, very vocal with my bullhorn. You guys have seen my black bullhorn. I come out with it. I don't play. So yes, I'm hoping that it is. I don't know as of yet, but I'll find out. And I forgot what your other concern was.
No, that was pretty much it. But I do have another question. I want to know, in terms of all the committees and the boards that were mentioned today, do you plan on emailing us that information in the event we choose to participate, such as the sisters, Am I My Sister's Keeper and Brother's Keeper and the advisory board? I got that link, but all the other stuff, I'm just curious.
So what we will do is make sure that Superintendent Alvarez, the information he shared with me, the information that Farrah shared with me, that when they send it to my email or to my staff email, when we send our thank you for attending meeting, that we'll push that information back out to you guys. Me, myself, my team, we're taking notes. So we'll compile everything and then we'll send it back out to everyone who has registered for this meeting. So yes.
I gotta be honest, I cheated the system. I just wanted to get in and hear what was said. So you will not find me on your registry.
Okay, no worries. We'll figure it out. We'll make sure that, well, you most of you guys have like clear ways of contacting me. So we'll make sure you get the information. And I just want to go back because Lenita Jones had brought up moving the city bikes to the sidewalks. And just so we are aware, the city bikes, there's a certain amount of space they need to have on a sidewalk for them to put the city bike there, because they cannot obstruct the way of pedestrians. So if you look and see any city bikes on a sidewalk, it's because there's enough space for people to have a pathway to go, in both directions on that block. So that's why sometimes you'll see it in the street. However, I clearly understand the need for us to put it in places that does not inconvenience everyone else. So I just wanted to acknowledge that because I remember you mentioned that. Fred, you have your hand up. You wanted to speak, and then Gwen, you still have your hand up. Did you want to speak as well? Okay, so Fred and then Gwen. Go ahead, Fred.
The city bikes.
Talk a little closer because we can't hear. For some reason, it's like muffled.
City bikes, can you put it near schools? Like right in front of the schools or near the schools? So when the kids go home, they can get on a bike instead of a bus?
Oh, Superintendent Alvarez, you know anything about that?
So yeah, that depends. And one of the reasons why is the egress in case of an emergency for fire exits, because there's such a large number of students that may be in a particular school. There might be rules as to whether or not they can be on the sides of schools. We do know that those sidewalks oftentimes are wider. We've been working on that as well. I'm frustrated myself. I live in Brooklyn, so I travel to the Bronx, and Third Avenue and Willis Avenue has become my biggest nightmare. It takes me 30 minutes sometimes from the entrance of the expressway to my office, which is only about 9 blocks away sometimes, just because of the one lane situation. But yeah, I can look into it. Chantel, I'll find out more from space planning and find out if there's anything we could do.
Awesome. And then Gwen, you still have your hand up. You want to say something?
Yes, I
Go
just
ahead.
want to go touch a little bit back on the homelessness. We have a lot of homeless shelters, but we don't know what goes on within them homeless shelters. And those people are being held in those homeless shelters longer than need be. We have a lot of buildings going up and apartments that are available, but we have case managers in there and caseworkers that are not doing their job. And I know this firsthand. And it's not only the Bronx, but it's also Manhattan. I know of 2 particular cases. And what some of these caseworkers are doing, these recipients, they get vouchers. And when they get these vouchers, they're trying to get them to go into a room instead of an apartment, instead of filling out the application for the apartments. And when you do the investigation, a lot of these rooms belong to their family members. So if you got a 3-bedroom apartment within a private house and a person gets a $1,500 voucher and you put 3 men in the same apartment, you're coming off. No one is investigating this kind of stuff. And furthermore, they're holding these people in these shelters because it generates money. And they're staying there longer than they need to be. And there's still a lot of racism within the shelter system between Black and brown people. There are a lot of people who are sitting there who's been there 2 years, and people are coming in these shelters and getting apartments after other people. So, if at all possible, I would like to get information on where I can assist in writing an agency to assist these people. Because some of them don't live in our 79 and some do. But we need to have a higher up investigate this. And this is why they're lingering around and not doing anything, because they're not moving them. Because every time they keep a client, they're getting paid to come to work every day.
So
security guard, case managers, cafeteria workers, they're getting paid.
Yeah, there's big money in keeping people homeless. So I hear you. I totally understand. I need to find out what agency oversees the homeless shelters that we're talking about. It sounds like you know of some specific cases. So if that's the case, then let's talk offline so we can resolve those specific ones. And then on a wider scale, we'll figure out who is the agency that audits and has oversight over the shelters and the case managers. So I hear you on that. I think Lanita Jones is the last person with her hand up, and then we're going to wrap up and close. Go ahead.
That was one other thing. I couldn't think the other thing that I wanted to speak about. The people with the vouchers who's looking for apartments, they are denying the vouchers now through brokers or realtors and stuff like that. They are denying the vouchers. So I don't understand why they denying the vouchers if they have a voucher to, for an apartment. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So I'm hearing denying of vouchers. So I understand that this is not the entire system doing that. So if we're hearing about specific cases, then definitely let's communicate and figure out where we can address those issues. And if we have to make some real noise about it, then we absolutely will. At this point, I'm asking Kelvin to drop our information in the chat one more time. I want to remind you all that I have the advisory board. And if you're in this meeting, you clearly care about the 79th district. you care about like the decisions that are going to be made there. So I would love for you guys to join our advisory board. The link is going to be dropped in the chat one more time. I am going to see if I can share my screen again. And just so you guys can see the contact information one more time. Sorry. Here's the best way. Sorry, I hit share instead of present. Here's the best way to contact us is by email and by phone. Someone will return your call shortly, but the best way is by email. So that's our contact information. I want to thank you all for being here and being a part of this conversation. As you can see, there's a lot of work that we are doing currently, and there's a lot of work that we still need to do, and trust that we're going to be in this fight together. This is not our last conversation, it's just our first. So we're going to have multiple conversations, and hopefully we can come back every single time and say we've made progress in each one of these areas. So I just want to thank all of our community leaders for being here with me, everyone who lives or works and have some vested interest in the 79th district. Thank you, and thank you. I remember if anyone was on our State of Democracy call, or Zoom rather, which happened a week into me becoming your assemblywoman, we talked about the insurrection that happened in DC. And my charge that I gave myself was to talk to young people at one of the schools in my district about the incident and check in with their mental health and wellness. And I wanted to tell you all that I had a chance to do that. I'm very grateful for that experience. So I just want you to be aware that we are working and continue to have these conversations. If you need us, please reach out to my team. And that is it for tonight. Thank you. Can you unmute everyone, Kelvin?
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you
Love you
so much,
guys.
Thank you.
Chantel. Thank you. Good to
Good
meet
night,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.
God
Good night,
bless.
Good
everyone.
night.
God bless.
God bless.
Huh?
I look forward to hearing back from you.
Please.
Give me a call, Chantel.
Oh, there you go, Cassandra. I shouted you out.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Give me a
Hi, Miss
call.
Bowman. How you doing?
All right. Always.
Hey, Cal, what's good?
Uh-oh.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm out for you, man. I'm out for you.
I spoke to him
As you
already.
should. As
I
you
spoke
should
to
be.
him.
Chantel, what you doing for Black History Month?
Oh, we still haven't decided.
See, that's why I gotta talk to you.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
count me in. Count me in.
Okay. You know what you should be a part. We're gonna do that affection before protection. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
protection before affection. So we should do something over there.
Okay.
All right.
Call me so we could build on it.
All right, sounds good.
Love you.
Love you more. All right. Bye, everyone.
Time to go eat.
Is that
It
you,
won't let
Linda?
me leave. It won't
Linda,
let
that's
me
you?
leave.
Linda, that's you on this Galaxy? Who's this on the Galaxy?
Why don't you show me? My hand.
I can't see. Well, all right. Who's closing this out, Kelvin or Emmanuel?
Yes. I'm closing it out. All right, everybody. Have a good night, okay?
Good night, Calvin. Thank you.
Good night, Ms. Jones.
Just remember to stop the stream.
Night, Emmanuel.
Oh, stop.
Hey.
Can't stop it. It won't let me stop it.